tribe, you're welcome to Floki's Den. My name is Afolake, and if you're joining me for the very first time, thank you so much for coming my way. This is Floki's Den, and what is expected of you is to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any vlog or any video that we share on this channel. On this channel, I share newcomer information tips and things that new immigrants can look forward to if they think of migrating into a new country. I'm filming from Canada in Saskatchewan, and we are having so much fun here on this channel. So do well to subscribe so you don't miss out on any video that I share on this channel. So you're welcome, my old subscribers. Thank you so much for always coming over and over again. It's Saturday and I've been up to a couple of things, trying to cook and prepare for the coming week. I usually do a bit of cooking so I don't stress myself in the new week. You know, cooking is also a hurdle, and you really want to focus on other important things when you get into that busy week. So today I've been able to make my stir fry, I've made salad, and I also made ofada stew. That's like an African dish that we used to eat our ofada rice. It's really nice and tasty, but that is not what we're talking about today. On another vlog, I'm going to show you how I made all of those. But today, I just want to highlight a few mistakes that new immigrants make and how to avoid those mistakes. If this looks interesting to you or sounds like what you want to keep watching, stay close and go nowhere. So the first tip I'm going to talk about is, if you're thinking of moving into a new country, I think it's just best practice to learn about that place, right? You want to know so much about that province, you want to know so much about the city, you want to know so much about where you actually plan to move into. Do your research when it comes to financial matters, do your research when it comes to job hunt, especially when you are coming in, you know that you'll be looking for a new job. Do your research, basic research. Sometimes you also want to go further to find out the population of the place, the weather, you want to learn so much about this place that you're moving into. It is just a logical thing to do. When we were planning to move to Saskatchewan, we usually would go online and check what the city looks like. Do a Google view of the roads, the inner roads, look at the city view, go on YouTube and just keep checking, so you just have an idea of what the city looks like, the beautiful places, major areas like downtown, those important places within the city that that eventually when you come, you have to visit those places as first steps. So it's important to know the province that you're moving into, in and out. Another mistake new immigrants make is that they feel it is not important to build good credit history. You might be new to Canada and not yet have financial record whereby the banks will be able to see your history and make judgments based on your finances. But not to worry, as soon as you step into Canada, make this a point of duty to build a good credit history, and you can do this in so many ways. Avoid signing up for easy to get store credit cards. You enter a store and they flash a credit card to you and say, yeah, it helps you get this, it helps you get that. You must understand what it takes for you to hold that card. If you are able to read within those fine lines and you understand the terms, by all means go ahead. But if you can't, be mindful of those credit cards, because sometimes they do credit checks on you and you have your credit score go down a bit because of those checks. And at the end of the day, it takes you into debt, because eventually you feel that you've got money to spend, money that is not yours, and then you have a lot of debt to pay off. As per credit cards, the first one that you need to get is from your bank. And be mindful as well, when you get there, just get one that is within limits, that you are able to pay your bills and then pay back from your debit card into that credit card. You want to use your credit card as much as possible to pay your bills and then move in money back into that credit card. And that's how you build your credit history. If you know that you have tendency to default, maybe because you will forget, set up auto payments plans so that this payment just goes automatically back into your credit card from your debit card, so you don't have to remember these things. If you know that you would have issues remembering when exactly to pay up these credit cards. You don't want to misuse the credit cards, because at the end of the day, when you miss out on payment, it shows that you're not credible enough, and that's what goes into your credit history and would obviously deter you from subsequent or future loans or things that you probably will need in the bank. Before you open an account in the bank, you want to make your research as well. Find out which banks would give you what another bank would not give you, such as zero annual fees or zero minimum balances, zero monthly fees, unlimited internal transfers, or zero international transfer fees. You want to check if all these, you might not find them all in one bank, but at least if you get something that helps you save some dollars, because when you do all of this, if a bank charges you an annual fee, then you know it's going to impact on you, right? So you want to check if you could have that ticked off. That's you keeping some money, maybe like a $90 or $100, without you paying that as annual fees. You also want to minimize your internal transfers, because as you make internal transfers, there are minimum fees for a number of transfers, but if you exceed those transfers, you want to also move into a bank that does it. I remember my husband, that he does a lot of transfers, and I will always say that he should accumulate all his transfers as one, especially if he's going to the same recipient at different times. But he says, look, he just has to do what he has to do at whatever time he has to do that. And when the monthly fees started coming and he was, going beyond the regular fees, he was paying extra, he had to look outside the current bank that he had, and then he found another bank that would give him zero transfer fees. So that helped him save some money. He wasn't paying any fees if he was going to make internal transfers, so he has unlimited transfers to make at zero fees, and that was helpful for him, so he doesn't have to keep incurring more costs based on his unlimited transfers that he always does. One mistake that new immigrants make is that they are unprepared of the job market in Canada. If you don't know, you don't know, but you must find out. That's a step ahead. When you're coming to Canada, you must be able to research the job market in Canada. You must understand what they are looking for and how to get in there. It's a competitive job market. Right now, employment rates are high. Unlike when I landed, people found it so difficult to find jobs. And of course, now it is the employee market. People even negotiate wages, but then even with what you've got, you just needed a job. And because the chances of getting a job was slim, it was wise for you to just grab what you find, right? This happened just a few years back. And of course, no thanks to COVID, because that actually caused a lot of job losses for many people, immigrants, even citizens, and so many people that were in Canada. They lost their jobs, full-time jobs, part-time jobs, everybody. They were just living on the barest minimum. And that's what the job market had to offer. So you must research. You must find out what kind of jobs you could get at a particular time, and then try and be flexible. Especially when you come into a new country, you must understand that it takes you within 6 months to 1 year to really get into your field of study as per work. And then you want to be flexible and pick up what you just find in the interim while working towards your midterm and your long-term goals. But if you are adamant and you insist that you must get your dream job, or you must get that job or that role that you feel resonates with your qualification, you'll probably be waiting for so long. So try and just step into the role that you find available that helps you, because your bills won't stop coming at the time you land, and then you need to pay all of this. You need to understand the role of slowly adapting into a new country. Try and understand the role that adapting slowly into a new country offers you based on job. And you must understand the trends, like I also mentioned. Follow the Canada job market trends, and then you will see what is available. That will help you to know ahead of time if this job will be opening up soon, or this particular role needs a bit of time, so you know what to take up as second option when you're also preparing to move into your main role. Right now, the trends are looking good. People are really getting good jobs. And for those that even have landed recently, it's been so much good news that we hear for them as for job. So they are getting good job. The trends are changing. So try and keep up with the labor trends in your city or your province that you're moving into, so you understand what to expect. Also establish credibility early when you move into Canada by joining, associations or groups in your field. It could be in IT, mining, construction, whatever industry that you feel that you want to play out much later. It's better to associate with them, and that also helps you with getting good opportunities as well. We understand that new immigrants face so many challenges, especially when they newly land, and what is paramount to them is finding a good place to stay and finding a job. But guess what? What is most important at that time is also setting up your social services, and your SIN is very important for you because you also need it to be able to get some things done. Like if you have to open a bank account, you need 2 pieces of ID and you need your SIN. That is just all that you need to open a bank account. But if you don't have that, it will be super difficult for you to open a bank account. And you need your bank account for your paycheck to come in. So, try not to put the cart before the horse. Do the right things first and then move to the next things as required. I have a video that I'm going to link here that I shared, 4 steps for new immigrants. You can check it out. And this is very important for you as a new immigrant to be able to understand what to do as per first step. So first, apply for your SIN. That's your social insurance number. It's like your national identity number. You need it for your bank account. You need it even when you're looking for a job. You need it. So that's the first thing. So if you've not gotten it at the point of entry at the airport, walk into Service Canada the first week when you land into Canada and get that set up. The next thing for you is also to apply for a provincial health coverage. This kicks off 3 months after you register. Within the first 3 months, you probably have to do a personal health coverage, which you'll be paying out of pocket. But when you file your tax the following year, these are things that you can claim back from the government. So when you make those payments, don't throw your receipts away. Keep your documents for your next tax filing season. And also as a new immigrant, and if you are a low income earner here in Canada, you can apply for a supplementary health plan and also have income support if you require that. This also helps you cushion up, those expenses that will come rushing at you when you don't have that income coming in. For the supplementary health plan, it helps you with your medical needs, and this helps you to reduce your expenses on health needs. Even with your health card, you still have health coverage, dental coverage, you have your medications also covers it to an extent. For us, when we newly came, we applied, and this is being reviewed like biannually, and most of the medications that we receive from the pharmacy, we only pay $2, guys. $2. What we should have actually paid like $30 to $40 for one medication, we pay $2. Why not enjoy these benefits until maybe when you get a job and you have health coverage from your employer? And of course, all of this you would not be able to access again because your income will go up. Don't forget, it is for low income earners. You can't even continue to enjoy this benefit because as your income increases, this subsidized health plan is being reviewed biannually. And when you fill the form, at the time they send it to you and you declare your income, you can't lie. Don't even try it in Canada. They will catch you. So when you fill these forms, you'll be able to show what your annual or household income is, and then they will let you know whether you still qualify for it or not. Another thing I want to talk about is that when you move to Canada, try to get your driver's license ASAP. Some jobs require this for you to be able to get on the job, and if you don't have it, there's no point. I did an entire video on getting the driver's license in Canada. You can check it out here, but it is of utmost importance. You can't drive without your driver's license. Forget the way you do it in your country. If they catch you, so don't even try it. Even now we have a speed limit that is going to start off in September for the school zone, for the park zone, and things just keep evolving, and you must understand all these rules while you drive in Canada. You can't bring the driving culture in your country in Canada. It can work. It won't work. So you must change that orientation, understand the way it's done here. And these are things that are like first few steps when you newly land. I've mentioned earlier about opening a bank account, but I just want to add a few things for new immigrants. Don't delay in opening a bank. I know that some people feel they want to hold the cash that they bring from their home country. Some of them just hold it on them without putting in a bank. You can open a bank account in Canada with zero balance. So what is holding you back? You only need 2 pieces of ID and your SIN. Open a bank account and you can put your money in there. And there are also benefits with the bank. Try, like I mentioned earlier, building your credit score or credit history. Get your credit card, get your debit card. Use your credit card and pay from your debit card. Don't accumulate credits or debts on your credit card so that it doesn't deter or mar your credit history. Banks also have benefits. So when you're opening a bank account, you're also trying to find out, like I mentioned, which bank will give you some benefits that other banks won't give you. And some banks also welcome new immigrants when they come to Canada. They give them some bonuses in that sense, ask you to have an auto deposit of 2 bills in the account for a period of a month or so, and then they credit your account with maybe $100, $200, or $300, depends on the bank. We also benefited from that when we newly came. So open a bank account. It's for your own good. You also have benefits that you can also accrue from the bank, like loans, investments, your child education, and so many things. You have to weigh all your options, guys. Don't be fixated in the things or the knowledge that you have brought from your home country. Try and do your research. There's so much to benefit from banks in Canada, and you don't want to be left out of all of this. It's also important for you to run your bank for a while, because some of the benefits or the things that you also desire from the bank, they look at your history, how long you have run the account, if you were not indebted in any way or you're not owing, all of those details. Try to be dedicated to a bank. Don't be a jack of all banks, but do your research from the beginning, and that will help you to know which bank to stick with for the long haul. Another mistake new immigrants make when they land in Canada is by not developing enough network system. We all need ourselves. Let's tell ourselves the truth now. We all need ourselves. Nobody is an island. When you join an association that have people with like minds, it also helps you, move faster and forward into your goal. But I must sound a note of warning here that you also must be careful that you're not in a friendship or a relationship or a connection that will drain you. Be genuinely involved. Be positive about the things that you contribute. And if there's any negativity going on, please step back. Connections also can cause you to drift, because if you're not careful, and that's why you must speak to yourself. Ask yourself some questions. Tell yourself what you require or desire in this land that you're moving into. And then when you know that things are going off track, begin to put yourself back on track. But if you are just a jolly good fellow, everybody moves with the wind, then you move with them, you are going to be in for a big shocker. Community is still what we all need. Good community of friends, church members, relationships that matter, that will also help you to move forward in your aspiration and your desire, even in Canada. By all means, build these communities. Listen to advice, listen to good counsel, but the decision still boils down to you. Don't be swerved by every opinion or comment that someone makes, and then you are here today, you're in another field tomorrow, or you're changing this today, or you're changing that because somebody said. You need to be guided. When there's a toxic connection, please stay away so that you just don't get entangled in all of those mess going around. Another mistake new immigrants make is depending on one job to build their Canadian experience. But funny enough, this also makes me laugh, because when you move to Canada, every job you're applying for, they're looking for a Canadian experience. And how do you get a Canadian experience if you don't have a Canadian experience? I have another video that I also did concerning how to put your resume right when you're trying to look for a job. I'm going to link it up here. Check it out so that it helps you put your resume in a good standing and the employer sees what you actually have to offer. Building a Canadian experience has to do with trust and connections. So you can start by volunteering. There are so many places here. Canada, in fact, is just so good with volunteering, and these are recognized work. So you can put them in your resume that you worked here. You are already building connection. You are already building trust in the workplace, and this can be a point of reference to you even getting jobs that are aligning in your field. Those other volunteering work might not align. You're showing good relationship with colleagues, you're building trust, building connection. All of these things are good, and then you can get references from there as well for another job that you feel would resonate with your experience. So try volunteering to build your Canadian experience, and don't look down on any job. Some people feel that they just want to get jobs in their field. Try and get a job that pays your bill, at least for you to start. If you wait until you get that particular job that is within your field, you might be waiting about 6 months, 1 year, or even longer, because it takes a lot for a new immigrant to get a job. So you want to build that experience by volunteering and then stepping out there, showing your capability to also relate well with Canadians or other culture, and then build connections from there. Another top mistake that new immigrants make is starting off with high expenses. Guys, you don't need it. You don't need it. You have shown off enough in your country. You don't need it. Nobody sees you. Nobody sees the kind of cars you drive. Nobody sees where you live. People just put things in wrong perspective when it comes to moving into a new country. But look, I like the way Canada is, because there's really no place for you to feel superior or inferior to another person. It's almost like a level playing field. So guys, there's no need. And then you're building up expenses that are high from the start. You're new to Canada, so it's good to start small. However small may mean to you, but you don't have to stretch or overstretch for you to get what you really desire. Expenses could mean your phone provider that you sign up with, or even a new phone, for instance. It could also mean buying a car when you feel you don't afford it from the get-go. You can use the public system. There's nothing wrong with it. It does not make you any less than who you are. You can use the bus system, which is equally good compared to where you're coming from. I know Canadians always say the bus system is not good, but guys, it is better than where I was coming from. So why can't I rock it? There's really nothing in it. It takes you from one point to the other, and then you limit your expenses, because when you buy a car and you know you don't have a job or you can't afford it, you are paying insurance, you are caring for the car, servicing, so many things that go on with the car. And if you can't afford it, then why put yourself in that place? And sometimes to avoid taking Uber or Taxify, just take a bus, guys. You can do that sparingly, but don't do that continuously. Some people also rent cars. It might be a high expense for you if you can't really manage around that from the very beginning. Some people also eat out rather than cook. That is another expense. That can be sparingly, but if you make it a continuous thing, when you're new to Canada, you're dipping down to your proof of funds, and then it will not take you as far as you ought to have it if you don't have a job coming so fast. So my advice will be, if you newly land in Canada, if you have a family or a friend that you can hook up with for a couple of weeks, please stay there. They can also help you or give you good advice based on your phone or where you can actually rent and the kind of apartment that you should be looking out for. If you don't have a friend, you can get an Airbnb, stay there. That gives you ample time to look around the city, and then with research be able to identify where is budget friendly for your family size. Another mistake is new immigrant not seeking free settlement services. There are free services for newcomers. I remember when we newly came to Open Door Society, we had opportunity to use computers free, print. We can, we were doing our resumes there. We could print. They could help us with so many things, and those were at no cost to us. The library is also there for you. You can get that. You are not signing up for anything. It's free. Walk in there. You can read. You can borrow books. You can make researches. They have computers. You can do so much without paying a dime, rather than you starting off on a high note when you can't afford these things. Keep whatever money you have for those things that you can't get for free, and enjoy the free stuff. It's just for a season. It's time in your life, because you're just starting as a new immigrant. On the final note, the last mistake that new immigrants make is that they do not have a contingency plan. Contingency plan, I mean, in case I don't have a job. And that's why the proof of funds is there for us to have it, to be able to cover us for a bit of time, about 3 months or so. And that's why you also don't want to spend that money and try to enjoy the free things that come your way for you starting life in Canada. If you don't get a job in 6 months, would you still be okay spending and living your life in Canada as if nothing is missing or broken? You need to have a contingency plan, and this will help you channel your energy right. These are my top list of mistakes that new immigrants make when they move into a new country. Try not to make these mistakes. Minimize as much as you can so that you can enjoy your life in Canada. Life is hard, but moving into Canada is a big step already, and you don't want to regret it because you have made some mistakes. And that's why you can catch on tips from this channel, what we've learned, even the mistakes that we've made, and this will help you to pick up some things and run with it, so you don't make these errors or mistakes when you move into Canada. Thank you everyone for staying tuned till this very moment. See you again in another vlog. Bye guys.